Imagine this scenario in Sao Paulo. A tourist is walking up to enter a stadium when a large group of protesters suddenly becomes violent. I'm Tom Sloan, Director Consulting Services for Frontier MedEx. Demonstrations are the main security concern for travelers to the World Cup. There is a strong potential for demonstrations given the outbreak of nationwide protests that occurred during the Confederations Cup in June 2013. The 2014 FIFA World Cup will take place in Brazil from June 12th to July 13th. More than 600,000 foreign visitors are expected to travel to Brazil to attend the matches in 12 host cities. It's likely you have already put precautions and plans in place if you have people traveling to Brazil. But if you haven't, or are still putting finishing touches on your preparation, here are a few things to keep in mind when it comes to security threats to your people. Random, nonviolent street crime, such as pickpocketing and purse snatching, are a common event likely to affect foreign travelers to Brazil. Don't carry bags that appear to hold electronics to avoid robbery, and dress down so you don't appear to be a wealthy target. Express kidnappings, in which victims are abducted for a short period of time and are forced to pay a small ransom or empty their bank accounts via several ATMs, can occur to locals and visitors alike. Be aware of your surroundings when using an ATM. Use ATMs that are inside of a mall or a shopping center rather than one right off the street. Remember, someone may be watching you. We recommend not using taxis and public transportation in Brazil, as doing so can make you vulnerable to car robberies, carjackings, and poor safety standards. The use of taxis should be avoided to the extent possible due to high crime levels and potential for express kidnapping. If taxi use is unavoidable, travelers should only employ those that are arranged in advance through hotel management. Buses should be avoided due to the high number of criminal incidents that occur on them and their noted lack of safety, including poor driving and safety standards on the part of the bus drivers. There have also been increasing reports of violent crime and incidents of sexual harassment and assault at subway stations. Self-driving is also discouraged due to heavy traffic congestion, extremely aggressive local drivers, and the threat of carjacking. Criminals tend to target individuals in late model cars who are stopped in traffic or at red lights, especially after dark. When traveling at night, motorists should especially avoid tunnels, as armed robberies are frequently perpetrated within them, and be cautious during traffic jams. Violent conflicts between drug gangs and police forces can occasionally halt traffic, especially in Rio de Janeiro, and can collaterally affect travelers. Because of concerns with taxis, public transportation, and self-driving, we recommend using vetted, private ground transportation, such as the dedicated services offered by Frontier MedEx. As always, make sure you have required documentation on your person at all times, and do not resist if security personnel stop you for questions. However, be cautious about any solicitation of bribes from these personnel.
Of course, there are other situations that can arise during travel unrelated to threats to one's security. At Frontier MedEx, we'll deal with hundreds of cases each day where a traveler experiences an unexpected sickness or injury. Think about a scenario where a totally healthy individual is in Brazil and would never think anything might happen to them. Yet, it would take only one small misstep off a curb, and that person could lose balance and fall and experience severe head trauma. Unfortunately, we assist people each day with things they never thought might happen. I'm Pascal Wolferman, Director of Resource Development for Medical Assistance Services, and I am part of the Frontier MedEx team that credentials providers around the world as part of our processes for identifying, assessing, and approving these medical and logistic resources for use. This credentialing process is especially important in Brazil, where there exists a great disparity in the standards of medical care depending upon where you are. Southeastern Brazil tends to have better healthcare coverage and quality, including cities such as São Paulo and Porto Alegre, than the Northeast or the Northwest cities. The cities where the US will first play are some of the poorest cities in terms of healthcare and the highest in terms of medical risk, like dengue, malaria, and yellow fever. There is also a discrepancy between the public and private sector of medical care. Even within each sector, quality care can vary tremendously. The public healthcare system can offer advanced and complex medical procedures, like at the INCOR, the famous Heart Institute, while some remote public hospitals in the Northwest are underfunded, suffer from corruption and a lack of up-to-date equipment. It is therefore key to have good intelligence on the capabilities of specific facilities, as medical care can vary greatly, even within the same city. Amil, a United Healthcare International company, is the largest healthcare organization in Brazil, with the largest provider network in the country, including over 44,000 physicians, 3,300 hospitals, and 11,000 outpatient facilities. Amil also owns one of the largest private hospital networks in Brazil, with 22 hospitals and 2 others under construction, making us capable of handling any medical issue that may occur in Brazil during the World Cup. Another challenge is the fact that Brazil is enormous geographically. Manaus is more than 1,600 miles away from São Paulo, and therefore far removed from high-quality healthcare. Amil has a fleet of air ambulances that can cover the whole country. In addition, here are some other tips to consider. Make sure to pack a good supply of any medication being taken. If at all possible, pack them in your carry-on. If that is not possible, make sure you have an adequate supply on your person in the event of unscheduled delays in your travel. In addition, keep the medication in its original container. Consider obtaining hepatitis A and B, typhoid, and influenza vaccine, and make sure your measles, mumps, rubella, and tetanus shots are up to date. The yellow fever vaccine, as well as malaria prevention, are recommended for some areas of Brazil, especially in the northern areas. Be prepared with a list of basic medical phrases translations, since few Brazilian healthcare workers speak English. While some physicians at the most renowned hospitals may speak English, nursing care and administrative issues are managed only in Portuguese. If you have any question about traveling to Brazil for the World Cup or any international travel in 2014, please contact us. And on behalf of the whole Frontier MedEx family, please have a very safe and enjoyable World Cup. Bem-vindo ao Brasil!